What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss this Saturday's fight between Kris Moutinho and Malcolm Wellmaker. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly to help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. We got a pretty cool fight in the bantamweight division. Kris Moutinho making his UFC comeback, highly anticipated. People have been talking about it. I've been talking about it for quite some time now. Has riding a 5-fight, 5-finish winning streak outside the UFC since going 0-2 in his original stint, fighting Sean O'Malley in short notice, just getting pieced up, really just showing a lot of heart and a solid chin, a little bit of durability, but really just showed heart and toughness in a losing effort. Then followed that up with a loss to Guido Canetti, where he got finished in that fight as well, where he just got overwhelmed by the more athletic, explosive, and powerful striker like a guy like Guido. But took those two losses and went to work, right? And has rattled off, I think it's been like, 3 years, almost 4 years since we have seen him in the UFC octagon, and he has taken full advantage of that, right? On a 5-fight win streak, going out there and finishing his opponents, not even leaving it to the judges, and just showcasing what got him to the dance in the first place. His gritty, grinding, wrestling, pressure style of fighting, getting fights to the ground, ground and pound, top position, making his opponents break, right? That's the Kris Moutinho style. But going against a guy like Malcolm Wellmaker, who, I mean, fuck, dude. I mean, to get your opportunity back at the UFC on short notice against a guy who is on his own rise in his own right, the undefeated prospect, which is odd to say because he's 31 years old, but doesn't have a whole lot of pro experience, 9-0, but most recently coming off of that big Cameron Simon victory, I think that's who it was, over. Big knockout, I think like a minute and a half into the very first round. Clipped him with that hook, put him away, just showed unreal power, good composure, looked like he belonged there. He seemed cool, calm, and collect, right? Especially under the UFC lights. And to follow that up with a guy like Kris Moutinho, who's going to bring the fight to him, he's going to have a lot of forward pressure. I'm curious to see how Malcolm fights off of his back, because I'm assuming Kris, if he doesn't get knocked out right away, he's going to probably at least get 1 or 2 takedowns. So I'm curious to see, like, if Malcolm gets right back up, or if, it takes some time, if he works or makes mistakes. He reminds me a lot of Joshua Van, but in the bantamweight division. Just his ability to just stay cool under pressure, great boxing, power in his hands, especially the left. But he has a pretty because, like, I was going to highlight, like, the experience difference, where Kris Moutinho's got about 20 fights, where Malcolm has 9, but Malcolm's got about another 9 amateur fights. I think he went 9-1 as an amateur. So he's definitely got a load of experience. He took his time in the amateur ranks before he decided to become pro. I'm curious how that happened too. So in this fight, I think I'm going to take Wellmaker by decision. Because I just don't want to count Kris out in this fight. He has a really good ability of stifling the offense of his opponents, a really good ability of just making it a hard fight for anybody. But Malcolm Wellmaker really seems to be like this diamond in the rough as well, right? And he's 9-0 for a reason. And he's a pretty big favorite as well. But I always, in MMA, like, anything could happen. Like, we saw Tristan Connolly beat Michel Pereira, right? So, just saying, anything could happen. But guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this fight. Who do you guys have? Do you guys have Kris Moutinho in his UFC comeback, or do you guys have the rising prospect in Malcolm Wellmaker? Love to hear your guys' thoughts. That's going to do it for today, guys. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.